never made me say I was okay when I wasn't tonight. You let the honest tears take flight. You didn't need me to pretend that the hard times had an end. You let me sit inside the real, the not okay, the way I feel. You didn't say cheer up, it's fine. You just held my hand in mine. The world had taught me to wear a mask, to answer fine to every ask, but you just let me tell the truth. The broken, beautiful, uncouth. You never made me say I was okay. You loved the not okay in me. The tears, the fear, the honestly. You didn't need a happy face. You just held the messy space. The not okay was not a crime. It was just a different kind of time. You sat with me in the gray and loved me anyway. The saxophone plays a sad low note. He doesn't dress it in a happy coat. He lets the minor be the truth, the honest sound of a tired tooth. I used to smile when I was dead, the happiest mask, the saddest threat. But you just looked and saw the real, and loved me through the way I feel. The okay is not the only state. The not okay is not a hate. You never made me say I was okay. You loved the not okay in me. The tears, the fear, the honestly. You didn't need a happy face. You just held the messy space. Maybe not okay is the bravest place. The honest, unprotected face. I'm not okay, I'm not okay, and that's okay, that's okay. You let me be, you let me be the honest, messy me, the messy me. Thank you for the freedom, thank you for the space to fall apart and keep my place, keep my place. I don't have to pretend, I don't have to pretend. You'll love me to the end, to the end. You let me keep my edges tonight. Didn't try to sand them down or make them light. You love the sharp, you love the rough. You never said you're too much stuff. The corners that the world had tried to round, you looked at them and found a beauty in the jagged line, a love that didn't need a smooth design. The world had tried to make me round, softer, gentler, easier sound. But you just love the angles true and never asked for someone new. You let me keep my edges, the sharp, the rough, the real. You didn't ask me how to feel, or tell me that I had to change to fit inside a different range. The edges are not flaws to you, they're just the shape of something true. You let me be the broken glass and love me without a single pass. The saxophone has a jagged key. His player doesn't try to make it smooth, you see. He plays the edge and loves the sound, the only honest ground. I used to file my edges down to be the easiest person in town. But you just love the mountain face and let me keep my jagged grace. The smooth is easy, but the edge is rare. You love me without a single care. You let me keep my edges, the sharp, the rough, the real. You didn't ask me how to feel, or tell me that I had to change to fit inside a different range. Maybe edges are the truest art, the shape of an uncut heart. Keep my edges, keep my edges. Not a pledge, not a pledge. You love the sharp, you love the rough. You never said I was enough, but different, 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 different. Thank you for the angles, thank you for the lines, for loving the unpolished designs, 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 designs. I keep my edges, I keep my edges, because you love the ledges, love the ledges. You never made me feel like I was too much to carry tonight. No sighing at the weight, no silent fight. I brought my heaviest, my darkest load, and you just took it on the road. You didn't stagger, didn't drop, you just held me at the top of every hill, of every climb. You loved me in my heaviest time. The world had told me I was dense, a weight that didn't make much sense. But you just carried without strain and loved me through the hurt and pain. You never made me feel like I was too much, too heavy, too deep. The promises I couldn't keep. You carried me without a groan and made the heavy feel like home. The load was not a load with you. You loved me like you loved me true. I was carried me like a gentle child. The saxophone has a heavy case. His player carries it with grace. He doesn't curse the weight or drop. He just walks and lets it stop. I used to think I had to shrink to be the easiest one to link, but you just took me as I came and loved me without any shame. The heavy is not heavy when the one who carries loves you. Then you never made me feel like I was too much, too heavy, too deep. But promises I couldn't keep. You carried me without a groan and made the heavy feel like home. Maybe being carried is the lightest start, the trusting of another heart. Not too much, not too much. Your gentle touch, your gentle touch. You carried me across the heavy sea, heavy sea. Thank you for the lifting, thank you for the rest, for being the very best, the very best. I am light now, I am light now, because you showed me how, showed me how. Showed me how. You didn't run when I cried for no reason tonight. You didn't ask me for a reason to be right. The tears just came, a sudden flood. You didn't ask for the why or the should. You just held the tissue in my hand and helped me try to understand. But sometimes tears don't need a name. You love me through the endless rain. The world had taught me tears need cause, a reason, logic, right, just because. But you just let the river be and love me in the mystery. You didn't run when I cried for no reason. You stayed, you held the tears that couldn't be compelled to have a story or a name. You love me through the falling rain. The no reason cry, the sudden ache. You didn't tell my heart to fake a different, happier face. You love me in the tearful space. The saxophone plays a weeping sound. He doesn't ask why the tears are found. He just lets the music cry and doesn't ask the reason why. I used to choke my tears back down asked me to be someone else's version of better tonight. No template, no bar to set me right. You didn't have a picture in your head of who I should be instead. You let me be my own design, the only real, true outline. You didn't say be more like her. You love me in my own stir. The world had always had a mold, a better story to be told. But you just love the one I am. No better, worse, no other plan. You never asked me to be someone else's better, just my own. The only seed that I have sown. No comparison, no scale. You love me through the thick and frail. The better is a different game. You loved me just the same. No version 2, no upgrade new. You loved me, and that was enough for you. The saxophone doesn't try to be a better version of the key. He plays the note he has today and lets the better go away. I used to chase a different face, the one that would take the first place. But you just loved me as I stood and told me I was very good. The better is a heavy word. You love me like a singing bird. You never asked me to be someone else's better, just my own. The only seed that I have sown. No comparison, no scale. You love me through the thick and frail. Maybe being enough is not a race. It's the quiet settling in a place. No better, no worse. You broke the curse, broke the curse. You love me here, you love me here, without the fear, without the fear. Oh, thank you for the freedom, thank you for the rest, for being the very best, the very best. I am my own, I am my own. The only seed I've sown, I've sown. No better needed, no better needed. My heart is heated, my heart is heated. You love me in the language I didn't know I spoke tonight. The silent words, the quiet smoke, the things I couldn't say out loud. The invisible, the unproud. You heard the spaces in between, the things I didn't say but mean. You didn't need a spoken phrase. hidden ways. The world had asked for words and proof, but you just stood beneath my roof and listened to the silent art, the language of my hidden heart. You loved me in the language I didn't know I spoke, the sighs, the still, the quiet that goes up the hill, the way I breathe before I cry, the language that I can't deny. You didn't need a dictionary, love. You understood the push and shove of a heart that couldn't speak out loud. You loved me in my silent crowd. The saxophone plays a note that bends. Without a word it comprehends the feeling that has no name, the language without any frame. I used to think I had to spell it out. Every feeling, every doubt. But you just sat inside my quiet and loved me through the silent riot. The unspoken is not empty space, it's the language of a different grace. You loved me in the language I didn't know I spoke, the sighs, the still, the quiet that goes up the hill, the way I breathe before I cry, the language that I can't deny. Maybe silence is the deepest tongue, the one where love has always sung. You heard me in the silent sea, in the silent sea. No words needed, no words needed. My heart was heated, my heart was heated. Thank you for the listening, thank you for the ear, for the language without fear, without fear. You love my silence, you love my silence, my deepest resonance, my deepest resonance. Your love was not a bandage, it was air tonight, the thing that helped my lungs repair. You didn't cover up the wound, you gave me space to breathe it through. You didn't wrap me up too tight, you just let me find my own light. A bandage stops the bleeding fast, but your love let the healing last. The pressure to be fixed is a heavy hand, but you just help me understand that healing doesn't need a seal, it just needs air to feel. Your love was not a bandage, it was air, it was room, it was space, the gentle, open, trusting place where wounds could breathe and find their way to close without someone to say, I'm fixing you, I'm making right. You just gave me air and let me The saxophone doesn't tape his reed. He lets it breathe and learn its need. The air inside the brass is free, the only healing melody. I used to look for someone to wrap me up, to hold the bandage and the cup, but you just opened every window wide and let the healing air inside. The bandage is a temporary friend, but air is the love that never ends. Your love was not a bandage, it was air, it was room, it was space. The gentle, open, trusting place where wounds could breathe and find their way to close without someone to say. Teaches you to repair. Just stare, just stare. You let me repair. You let me repair. No bandage, no tape. You gave me a different shape and different shade. Thank you for the oxygen. Thank you for the room. Healing in you didn't look for missing parts, you just held me in your quiet arms. You saw the cracks but didn't mind. You left the fixing far behind. You loved the house, not just the frame. And in that love I found my name. The world had told me I was less, a broken thing that needed to confess. But you just looked and saw the one who had been whole all along. You loved me like I was already whole, not missing, not a half. You didn't ask me for a different laugh. You didn't need me to be new. You loved the me that always knew. Wholeness hiding underneath the fears, the scars, the clenched teeth. You saw the hole inside the part and loved me back into my heart. The saxophone has a tiny crack, but his player never looks back at what is missing, what is wrong. He just plays the wholeness song. I used to think I had to earn my worth, prove my value on this earth. But you just loved me like a fact, and every broken piece came back. The whole is not the absence of a scar, it's the love that sees you as you are. You love me like I was already whole, not missing, believe I am whole. I am whole. You love me whole. You loved me whole. Not broken, not a task. You loved me without a mask. Without a mask. Thank you for the wholeness. Thank you for the sight of loving me in the middle of the night. Of the night. I am whole. I am whole. Because you loved my soul. My soul. My soul. You love me in the ordinary moments tonight. The dishes in the sink, the fading light, the way you made the tea without me asking, the quiet everyday unmasking of love that doesn't need a stage or a standing ovation for the page. You love me in the waiting, in the pause. The ordinary became the cause. The big gestures are easy to see, but the small ones are the ones that set me free. The everyday is where the real lives, the love that quietly gives and gives. You love me in the ordinary moments, the small, the plain, the morning coffee, the window in the rain, the way you held my hand across the couch, the way you didn't need to shout. You loved me when I brushed my teeth. You love me underneath the sheet. The ordinary was your art, and that's where you healed my heart. The saxophone plays his simplest phrase, the one that lasts for days and days. Not the solo, not the show, just the note that helps you know. I used to wait for fireworks and bells, the love that every story tells. But you just showed up every day and loved me in the quiet way. The extraordinary's overrated. The ordinary's where love is sainted. You love me in the ordinary moments, the small, the plain, the morning coffee, the window in the rain, the way you held my hand across the couch, the way you didn't need to shout. Maybe ordinary love is the deepest kind, the one that lives inside the daily grind. Ordinary love, ordinary love, sent from above, sent from above. In the small things, in the small things, your love brings, your love brings. Thank you for the ordinary days, the quiet, simple, healing ways, the healing ways. Love didn't leave you broken, it left you open tonight. The spaces where it hurts are where the new light can finally enter through the cracks. You are not a house of broken facts. You are a door that learned to swing, a heart that learned a different thing. Every goodbye was not a wall, it was a doorway after all. The vase that cracks lets the sunlight in. The heart that breaks learns where to begin. Not with walls, not with fright, but with the softest, bravest light. Love didn't leave you broken, it left you open wide. The places where you hurt are where love can hide. Not the love that ran away, but the love that's here to stay. In you, from you, through your veins. The open heart survives the rains. You are not shattered, you are a door. Love left you open to love once more. The saxophone has a dent that sings, a richer tone that the dent brings. The break became a softer voice, a different, beautiful choice. I used to think the love that left had stolen every single breath, but now I see the open space is where I learn my own embrace. The wound is not a life sentence, it's the start of a different entrance. Love didn't leave you broken, it left you open wide. The places where you hurt are where love can hide. Not the love that ran away, but the love that's here to stay. Maybe being open is the bravest scar, the sign that you've come so far. You're not broken, you're not broken. The door has opened, the door has opened. Love will find you, love will find you. The open heart is kind, is kind. You're not broken, you're open wide. Let love inside, let love inside. You love me in the wait, not just the arrival tonight. The in-between, the flickering light, the days I wasn't there yet, the nights I couldn't forget. You didn't wait until I'd healed to show me that your love was real. You love me in the middle beautiful and finished broken guess. The world loves the finished art, but you love the beating, messy heart. Before it knew which way to go, you love me in the afterglow. You love me in the wait, the slow, the long, the almost there. The voice that hadn't found its prayer, the hands that shook, the feet that stalled. You loved me before I'd stood up tall. The destination wasn't where you stayed. You loved me in the longer way, the waiting room, the holding space. You loved me in the unfinished phase. The saxophone learns a note so slow, it takes some weeks to make it grow. His player doesn't rush the phrase. He loves the slow, impatient days. I used to think I had to arrive to be worthy of being alive, but you just sat beside the road and loved the girl who hadn't showed. The arrival is a single frame, but the wait is where love learned its name. You love me in the wait, the slow, the long, the almost there. The voice that hadn't found its breath, the hands that shook, the feet that stalled. You loved me before I'd stood up tall. Start the faithful, patient, loving heart. In the way, you didn't hesitate. You didn't hesitate. You loved me then. You loved me then. Before I knew how to begin. How to begin. Thank you for the waiting. Thank you for the slow. The only way a heart can grow. Because you loved me in the pause. You loved me in the pause. You were not the sun, you were the moon, and that was better tonight. You didn't burn, you didn't fight, you just reflected light I'd missed with a soft and silver kiss. The sun is loud, the sun is bright, but you were gentle in the night. You didn't blind me, didn't scorch, you just held me on your lunar porch. The sun demands you look away, but the moon invites you to stay. In the soft and silver glow, the only place I wanna go. You were not the sun, you were the moon, and that was everything. The gentle pull, the quiet rain. You didn't need to be the brightest star, you were the light that wasn't far. You held me in the dark of night and helped me find my own inner The saxophone plays a softer key, the one that sounds like the moonlit sea. He doesn't try to be the brass of noon, he's happy with the silver moon. I used to look for someone who would shine, a spotlight that would make me feel divine. But you just glowed behind the cloud and loved me when I wasn't loud. The moon doesn't compete with the day, it just finds its own quiet way. You were not the sun, you were the moon, and that was everything. The gentle pull, the quiet ring. You didn't need to be the brightest star, you were the light that wasn't far. Maybe the moon is the bravest light, the one that loves the longest night. You're the moon, not too soon, not too soon. You're the gentle glow, you're the gentle glow, the only light I wanna know, wanna know. Thank you for not burning, thank you for not blinding. The moon is the kindest finding, the kindest finding. Fading lights lingering you in a deeper shade of blue. Every glow begins to fall, like I'm losing it all. Every shadow softly bends back to where we didn't end. Every flicker tells me true, I still haven't lost you. Every second slipping by still refuses your goodbye. Every breath I try to take feels like something starts to break. Fading lights linger in you, in everything I try to do. Every moment, every view still comes back to only you. Even when the night is gone, you're the light I linger on. Every shadow, every hue still belongs to you. Saxophone begins to sigh, like it knows the reason why. Every note just fades away, but the feeling wants to stay. Every chord begins to glow with a love I still don't know. Every silence pulls me through all the things I lost in you. If the light just disappears, would you fade across the years? Fading lights linger in you, Even when it fades from view, it still quietly holds you. Lights go down, you remain. You can ask for help without being weak tonight. The strongest trees are the ones that lean in the wind's side. The roots go deep, but they also spread to hold each other up instead of standing lonely, proud and stiff. The help you ask is not a cliff. It's the bridge that gets you to the other side. The brave admission opens wide. The pack survives because they hunt together. The bird flies south with the changing weather. You are not a solo act alone. The help is the bravest stone. You can ask for help. It's not weakness, it's a door to a place you haven't been before. The burden shared is half the weight. The lonely battle is not your fate. Reach out your hand, say, I need you. The strongest thing you'll ever do is to ask for help and let them in. That's where the healing can begin. The saxophone needed his reed fixed once. He didn't fix it like a dunce. He asked a friend to help him out and learned what trust was all about. I used to carry everything alone, afraid that help would turn to stone. But now I know the bravest voice is the one that says, I need a choice. The oak and the ivy grow as one. The help you ask is never done. You can ask for help. It's not weakness, it's a door to a place you haven't been before. The burden shared is half the weight. The lonely battle is not your fate. Maybe help is the highest form of strength, the measure of the human length. Ask for help, ask for help. Not a yelp, not a whelp. You are brave, you are brave. The help will save, the help will save. Reach your hand, reach your hand. You don't have to stand alone in the sand. Ask for help tonight. Ask for help. It's right. streetlights fading like a love that passed. Your shadow lingers in the blue. Every quiet note still sings of you. Coffee rings on a worn-out page. Memories trapped in a softer age. I sip the silence, bittersweet. Your heartbeat echoes in the street. Every second pulls me deeper into where we were, to where we've been. Velvet rain on 3 a.m. windows, calling out your name so low. In the hush where time moves slow, I still feel you, don't you know? Through the storm, through the pain, you're the rhythm in the rain. Empty chair across from mine, echoes drifting out of time. Your laughter caught in smoky air, like you were always sitting there. The saxophone begins to cry, a lullaby that won't say goodbye. Every chord pulls at my skin, like a ghost you're living in. Every tear I never show still falls in rhythm, soft and slow. Velvet rain on 3 a.m. windows. Every drop a truth I know. Even when the night lets go, I still feel you, don't you know? If I close my eyes, you're near, whispering what I need to hear. In the static, in the blue, every note returns to you. Velvet rain, don't fade away. Stay with me till break of day. Stay until the skies turn gray. When the lights begin to fade, we become what we don't say. Just two shadows left to stay. The gray. Your eyes don't hold me like before, but still I linger at your door, like something I can't let go. Even though I know there's a distance in your touch, saying more than just enough. When the lights forget us now, we don't ask or wonder how. We just sit inside the glow, letting go. Every second slips away, but we choose to stay this way. In a moment we outgrew, me and you. space but feels too thin, like it knows we won't begin again the way we used to do when it felt true. Your silence fills the empty space where I once could read your face. Now it's just a quiet room, fading soon. If we try to fix this night, would it bring us back to life, or just show what we became? Something changed when the lights are finally gone. Will I still be holding on, or dissolve into the dark with your spark? Table for one, but still for two. Every chair still holds a view of the nights we used to share. Now just silence sitting there. Menus closed, but I remain, ordering memories again. Candles burn, but feel so cold without your hand for me to hold. Every glance across the room still expects you walking through. Every sound outside the door feels like you returning once more. A table for one, still yours. Every heartbeat still explores all the moments left behind, every trace I cannot hide. Even when the night is done, you're still here at table one. In every breath, every pause, I'm still yours without a cause. I just smile and look away. Saxophone begins to cry, soft enough to pass me by. Every note just understands what slips right through my hands. Plates untouched and glasses dry. Still I stay and wonder why. If you walked in through that door, I would need no words anymore. A table for one, still yours. Even when my heart implores, every second pulls me back to the love we couldn't track. Time will let me be, but tonight you're here with me. Still your seat, still your place, still your shadow, still your trace. The tab is still open in my name from the night we never closed. The sax plays a floating melody for the debt that never goes. The roads asked if I should pay it off. The bass said let it ride. I like the way the open tab keeps a little piece of you inside. The bartender slips the paper under every time I sit. The sax plays a soft reminder, and the numbers never quit. The tab is still open in my name. The sax holds the bill. Some debts are sweeter than the pay when the heart wants the thrill. Brushes total the interest. The drums at the tip. The tab is still open in my name. The sax holds the bill. Some debts are sweeter than the pay when the heart wants the thrill. And you stay mine. The storm will pass through, not stay forever tonight. The clouds are heavy, but they know how to take flight. The rain is loud against the glass, but nothing in the sky is built to last. The thunder booms, the lightning strikes, but even storms have their own spikes that bend and soften, fade and cease, and leave behind a quiet peace. The trees don't fight the wind, they bend. They know the storm will meet its end. Every raindrop has a final fall. You will outlast it all. The storm will pass through, it won't stay forever. The darkest clouds are learning how to sever from the sky that held them tight. they'll turn into the morning light. You don't have to weather it perfectly, just breathe and let the storm be. It's moving through you, not into your bones. The storm will pass, you won't be alone. The saxophone plays a note that bends like a tree that knows the wind intends to test its roots but not to break. A sound that knows how to wait. I've been standing in the rain so long, I forgot that storms belong to the sky, not to the soul. The sun is coming to make me whole. The wind is loud, but so is the prayer that says this too shall pass through the air. The storm will pass through, it won't stay forever. The darkest clouds are learning how to sever from the sky that held them tight. They'll turn into the morning light. Maybe storms are just messengers in disguise, bringing rain to the thirsty eyes. Let it rain, let it rain. It won't stay, it won't stay. The sun is on its way. The sun is on its way. Just wait, just wait. I know the way you take your coffee, I know your morning sighs. I know the way you read the news behind your tired eyes. I know the stories of your childhood, the ones you've told before, but still you find a way to leave me wanting more and more. Because just when I think I've mapped the contours of your soul, you show me a new country, you show me a new goal. You're my familiar stranger, the one I know so well. And yeah, you're full of mysteries, a story I can't tell. I know your every outline, the shape of your embrace, but you still have the power to stop me in my place, my familiar stranger. I've seen you in your darkest hour, I've seen you in your light. I've held you through the hardest times and through the a peaceful night. But every time you look at me with that certain kind of glance, I discover something new, and I'm caught up in a trance. You're the book I've read 1,000 times, but every time I do, I find a hidden meaning that feels completely new. You're my familiar stranger, the one I know so well. And yeah, you're full of mysteries, a story I can't tell. I know your every outline, the shape of your embrace, but you still have the power to stop me in my place, my familiar stranger. Some people fear the comfort of a love that's safe and true. They think that knowing everything is the thing that makes it through. But I love the way you keep me guessing, even after all these years. You're the sweetest kind of mystery, the one that calms my fears, my familiar stranger. I found your letters in the moonlit air, ink fading like a quiet prayer. Each word a sigh you used to share, still warm against my skin. I read them slow like fragile notes, each memory softly floats. Your love still lingers in the quotes you whispered long ago. Moonlit letters calling me back to where we used to be. Every line a melody, fading soft but never gone. Moonlit letters, tender proof of the fire in our youth, a gentle echo of the truth. Your handwriting like a breeze, soft and warm with subtle ease. It wraps around me, makes me see how deeply I was known. Tonight the world is barely real, only your words I can feel. They hold me close, they always heal, like shadows in the glow. Moonlit letters calling me back to where we used to be. Every line a melody, fading soft but never gone. Moonlit letters, tender The little candle on table 7 is burned down to nothing. The wax is just a pool. The sax plays a fading orange phrase for the wick that kept its cool. The roads asked if they should light a new one. The bass said, let it be. I like the way the nothing holds the warmth of what used to see. The waitress walks by every hour and looks at the empty flame. The sax plays a soft inheritance, and the dark knows its name. The little candle on table 7 is burned down to nothing. The sax keeps the glow. Some things give everything they have, and then they let you go. The brushes sweep the wax away. The drums don't light a match. The little candle on table 7 is burned down to nothing. The sax keeps the glow. Some things give everything they have, and then they let you go. Candle, table 7, nothing. The sax breathes one last heat, and the dark is full. And the night is sweet.